Okay, so for number 6, we are again multiplying multiple numbers, but this time they're decimals. So I'm going to do what I do with all multi-step problems. We're going to focus on these beginning two numbers, and we're going to put the rest in a box, save it for later. The first thing that I notice with this first part is that we have a negative number here and a positive number here. These are different signs. That tells me that whatever I end up with as an answer for this first part, this is going to be a negative answer. So I'm going to put that there so I don't forget. All right, here we go. 7.2 times should be 0.1. 0.1. We are going to multiply this 1 first. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 7 is 7. And then we don't necessarily have to do the 0, but if you want to see it, we would have to bring down a 0, because that 0 is in the tens place. And then 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 7 is 0. We're going to add this to 7. Okay. Then we need to look at our problem. We have two numbers to the right of the decimal point. So we need to take the decimal point from the very end, that invisible decimal point, and move it 2 times over. This gives me 0.72. And it's negative, remember? We put that in the box to remind us. So now we're ready to bring down everything that we were saving for later. I'm going to multiply by negative 100. Okay, so again, I see that I have a negative number here and a negative number here, and with multiplication, when you are multiplying the same signs, we know that whatever answer we end up with is going to be a positive number. So I'm just going to put a plus sign in there to remind myself that this is positive. Okay, so let's do this. Negative 0.72 times negative 100. All right, I think, I'll just do it this way. Okay, so the first thing that we are doing, we're focusing on this 0. So 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 7 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. In the tens place, we have another 0. That's the one we're going to multiply next. This one. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 7 is 0. Whoops. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 7 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. Okay. And then because this 1 right here is in the hundreds place, we need to make sure that we add zeros down here to show that that 1 is in the hundreds place. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 7 is 7. And 1 times 0 is 0. Now we're ready to add everything up. 0, 0, 2, 7. And 0 times 0, 0. Okay, so let's see. We have two numbers to the right of the decimal point, and then the second one doesn't have anything. So we just need to move this 2 spaces over. 1, 2, and the decimal point ends up behind the 2. That gives me 72 as my answer. And you might wonder, why don't we write it like this, 72.00? You could. That would be the same thing. So you could write it as 72.00. You could write it as 72. It doesn't matter as long as you remember that these are positive.